Hey everybody, amprepairguy.com, 203-892-4119. I've been very busy here, and I have something else a couple things to talk about here really quick before I get to work for the day. Summer's coming to a close, so I'll be stuck inside here in New England as it gets cold here, and I don't like the cold, and so I'll be in here working and making things and putting it up on YouTube. So this 922 is all set. That AL572 is all set. Customer's on vacation. I think he's coming back tomorrow, so we're going to ship it tomorrow. This guy, I'm just waiting on the payment, then that can go out. This I'll talk about in a second. It's 922, another 922, two Ameritron AL80Bs. I have a few more upstairs, more in the way. I get these done quick, even though you see them on my bench. I'm very thorough, as you know. You see my reviews on my. By the way, if you go to amprepairguy.com, I have some of the reviews up on my website from ham guys, like myself. Check them out. Watch my videos. I try to just show what I do, so you get a sense of my work. The thoroughness and the consistency with what I do from amp to amp. So this amplifier, I don't ship stuff by the brown truck. I don't ever tell people to. This guy brought it to, I told him FedEx office, but I guess the FedEx he went to didn't do the foam in place fragile pack, so they brought it to UPS. Got damaged. It had some previous damage when he purchased it on eBay. The couple of feet were broken off. He said not a big deal, could always do something about that, put like stick-on feet on each corner, because this cannot be flush with the table because air needs to get in there. So anyway, the back corner's damaged. It's like the bolt hole, this can be bent back. I can either epoxy that, or at some point you can buy a new side panel. They have these available on eBay sometimes. By the way, I placed it here carefully, won't get scratched up. Front also crack, not all the way through, but front panel can be replaced. Look at that, it looks like the needle is bent. So anyway, I'll have to take it apart. He sent it to someone else, and I guess they charged him, and they said they fixed it, and still had issues. So I'll go through it, and as long as no major components are damaged, like the filament transformer or the air variable, which is very hard to find, should be able to bring it back to life. Or just depends on what he wants to put into it. So anyway, another 922 and the other 2 amps right here. So like I said, been super busy. I get through these quickly, and I've heard stories about shipping and stuff. It's really not a big deal to ship an amp. As long as you bring it to FedEx office, you have the foam in place fragile pack done. They put it in the key is to have it in a nice tight box, packed tightly in the right size box, foam in place, and you're good. It costs like 20 something bucks. You can't beat it. And then you have no bending over, no going to get the materials, and if you go to buy the materials, you can't do it for that. You buy a roll of tape, go to Home Depot, it's like almost $7 for a roll of tape, So I know you can buy a roll of tape cheaper online, but the average person's gonna go try to source it somewhere locally, and you have the box, the bubble wrap, everything ends up costing more than what the foam in place fragile pack costs. So whether it's a small amp or big amp, I only work on ones you see in my videos because I can still get parts. Not often does one like that have a bad air variable. I'm not saying that one's bad, but just saying, like a band switch I can get, the components that have issues due to, an open on the output, or, the amp not being, modified, having the revisions done, those components that usually fail can be sourced. So if someone says, oh, I can't, bend the floor, metal, whatever, as long as it's packed properly, you'll be good, and goes FedEx. So I only take in stuff like this. I'm sorry, people contact me about sweep tube boxes and other stuff like that. Those are CB amps. I don't get involved with that stuff. I'm jam-packed with this kind of stuff. I just don't have the time, and you know, I pick and choose what I take in. I'm too busy. I also do service calls, and I build stuff now and then. So my big surprise is this right here. My friend Tony down in New Jersey sent me this. He's a cool dude. Website charger.com sells a lot of cool stuff, chimneys and enclosures, and you know, when you go to build something, the hardest part is constructing a cabinet. So he sells these really nice prefabricated cabinets. Really cool guy. You know, I buy cabinets from him. So with this cabinet, I'm building a 3x6, which is a 3cx6000. Brand new tube, brand new, all the parts brand new transformers, brand new, you know, everything. Not new old stock, not, you know, except for the vacuum variables. They will be, you know, new old stock. But everything else, brand new tube. Actually, socket will be a clean pole. You just can't get sockets anymore, and it's a good broadcast socket, not the other one that they used in the RF generator. So I only have 2 of those left. So anyway, this will be a 50 to a little over 52 megahertz amp, because the guy only cares about the lower part of the band. It's going to be a 10 kW CW amp. He just wants a lot of overkill. He's heavy duty into data modes, and you know, for the cost of the tube, it's cheaper than an 8877. So I'm going to show how that gets built. It will be a conventional pie. It's not going to be the plate style, you know, like you know, that would, you know, the other method would allow the coverage of the full band. I don't have the capability to make those that type of capacitor here. So and like I said, he only wants to cover the lower portion of the band, and you know, he's good with that. So you know, I'll have to do some special stuff inside of it to cancel out some of that capacitance inside the tube. You know, pre-inductor between the plate blocking cap and the plate tune capacitor, and so I'm going to show all of that. It's getting a roughly 17 kVA CCS transformer and a 2-piece cabinet. So I'll be starting this either the end of this week or early next week. I'm just waiting on parts. I purchased all the parts to get the RF deck done. I have a couple 3x6 tubes here that I will use, just the brand new, but he's getting a brand new Pentalabs 3x6 because I trust them 100%, actually 1000%, great company. And those other 3x6s, they have no warranty. They're mine, and they're old. So he'll be getting a brand spanking new Pentalab tube with a warranty, and they take care of all my customers if they ever have an issue. And so anyway, I'll be getting on that, and then once that's done, I'll start the bottom part. The part that takes longest is the RF deck. I got it all planned out in my head, and so you'll get to see that, and that's going to be a very interesting project. It'll be fun for me. I've never built one for that frequency. One of my buddies has helped me calculate some stuff out, you know, so actually, you know, the you know, like the plate choke and the plate blockers, I'll be listing the amount of current, you know, that each component has to handle. So there's no guessing, there's no will this work, will that work? You know, you really have to do your homework and make sure everything is correct. You know, the one thing about this is, you know, these doorknob capacitors, they've really gone up in price. So, you know, that's the one thing that kind of hurts, you know, having to buy these. But, you know, plate transformers, everything has gone up a lot. Since, you know, I used to build some monoband 80 meter amps, a few tri-band amps, and, you know, I just haven't had time to mess around with the 80 through 10 when it's like, when I think I'm lightening up over here with my load, this happens. So this will be the priority. To always work before play. Once, you know, if the amps slow down, which I doubt they will because winter time's coming, everyone loves being outside during the summer, and they play radio in the winter. You know, I get super busy. So the 80 through 10, I'll probably end up putting it on the bench, and I'll do here little stuff here and there. But I'm just so exhausted after I work on this stuff. It just really puts a lot of strain on my brain. And anyway, going back to this thing, you know, the high duty cycle modes really do a number on amplifiers. I see a lot of amplifiers come in that people use on FT8 or AM, and it just, you know, it just really, you know, something commercially made just really, yeah, it's set up, you know, for compromise. You know, first off, it's covering multiple bands. Any mono band amp's always going to be more efficient than a multi-band amp, and they're in it to make money. I mean, they have to make money. You know, they're not doing it for the fun of it. You know, they have to make a certain amount of profit. And like I said, part prices keep going up, 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 up. You know, so, you know, transformer for this thing, after shipping, everything's going to be like $2,600. So, buying it from a company that builds a good transformer, doesn't have a really high DC secondary resistance like some other ones I've shown. It's unfortunate that my friend Pete is no longer in business. He just made the best transformer ever on the planet. You know, he's just an awesome guy. You know, he's a great guy. I used to talk to him, you know, on his personal phone. He worked up almost to the end. Just great guy. Just have the utmost respect for him. God rest his soul. Just awesome guy. So anyway, yeah. So the guy's gonna run like the legal limit, but he just likes having big stuff, you know, and you know, he doesn't want it to break down. And he's retired, and he has the money to spend. So stuff like this is not cheap. So if you contact me, it's not just the parts, just a lot of money in parts, just a lot of money. And you know, so after I get the 80 through 10 done, you know, maybe once a year I'll, you know, offer something like that. Just you know, give me a ring. But yeah, I know there's some guys over in the Middle East. You know, I can do anything. I'm very clean with my work. Eventually I'll have a larger work area, and you know, this is kind of limiting me here. So I just, you know, I do it all right, or I don't do it at all. I don't sacrifice, you know, quality to try to put more in my pocket. You know, I don't have a lot of overhead, so I don't have to make as much on something. I mean, fixing this other stuff definitely makes more than something like this, but I enjoy it. It keeps my skills sharp. You know, I've seen other people who will skimp on blower size, and they end up putting a bunch of holes in the floor and of the amp to try to cool the roller inductor to increase its handling capability, you know, power handling capability. But you know, the you know, because circulating current's so high. But once again, something like that, you know, when you go to a high duty cycle and try to run it at its rating, it's gonna fail. So multi-band stuff, I only use progressively shorting rotary switches that are rated for the proper amount of current. As you go up in frequency, the current rating of contacts, whether it's a rotary switch, relay, or whatever, usually goes down. So everything has to be big, and that stuff's expensive. You know, proper size blower, proper size plate supply, just everything. I like having everything either rated, you know, it has to be rated for, you know, what it'll have on it for voltage and current. But I like to have a smidget of overkill at least, you know? So, this thing's going to be awesome. Okay, so I'm going to upload this real quick, and then today I have to take that AL80B apart for a customer in California, and then I'm going to pull think I'll pull that one apart really quick to let the guy know what's going on, give him a quote, and then I'll pull this one apart really quick, as long as I have time. So, thanks for watching. That is my website, amprepairguy.com, 203-892-4119. That's amprepairguy.com, and I do things by the book here. This is what I do. This is my job. I don't do something else and then do this to just make extra money. I'm qualified for this, and I love doing this. This is my passion. I don't, you know, I guess you could say I'm a specialist with the ones I work on and whatever I build. I don't just jump into something not knowing what I'm doing. I'm definitely, you know, not Mr. Know-It-All. I have friends, engineers that, you know, will, you know, answer questions for me if I'm stumped on something, but that doesn't usually happen with this kind of stuff. But when it comes to this, there's some complex calculations, which this time around I'm going to write down. So you know, if you don't use, like, you know, figuring out the amount of current you have on the plate tune cap and the amount of current you have on the plate blockers, if you don't do these calculations often, you just forget. I mean, I cheat with Pi network calculators and, you know, Ohm's law calculators, and, you know, just I don't always have, or, you know, it just sometimes you know, then I take a screenshot so I can save it, you know. So this time around I'm going to write it down. But anyway, I'm rambling on. Once again, phone number and website, amprepairguy.com, 203-892-4119, and I will check this amp with my spectrum analyzer. I'm going to do some special stuff to clean the output up. I'll show it all. Nothing to hide. Hey, take care. 73.